Hello everybody, and welcome to State of Play. This is a new interview show, obviously, because you're watching it, and this is episode 0. I'm here with Tarik Soliman.
Hi.
Hello. The creative director at Naked Sky Entertainment.
That's correct.
All right. Which is now an official EA subsidiary?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you work with them?
We've worked with EA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've partnered with them on a couple things.
Okay, cool.
They're awesome. I love EA.
That's great.
But they don't own us. Maybe someday they'll own us.
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad if that happened.
Right.
But no, currently we're independent.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Well, I met Tarik, a year and a half ago or something?
Yeah, it feels, yeah.
Working on a film, a friend of a friend. But Naked Sky, his company makes great games. Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm honored you thought of me.
You're a nice feller.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Thank
That's
you.
what you say when you're on like a talk show, right?
I think so.
Great to be here.
Yeah, unless you aren't happy to be there.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know.
Or at least halfway through.
Yeah.
We can have a signal if you're having a bad time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
So your official title at Naked Sky is creative director.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were just talking about this, but it varies from game to game. Like sometimes you're credited as creative director, sometimes it's lead designer.
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing.
Right.
I think I tend to go with lead designer if it's a game where the kind of core idea has already been prescribed in a way, you know, or if we're working on something that's someone else's idea or concept or something like that. Usually, yeah, I think it makes more sense to just be lead designer. You know, you're designing the game mechanics and whatnot. But if it's something that we're creating from scratch and there's lore involved and character design and stuff like that, then yeah, then it's more creative director, I guess.
Right. For instance, the Star Trek game that you guys just did.
Right, that would be a lead design position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Because I didn't create Star Trek.
Right.
And, you know, what that game was is kind of prescribed upon us.
Right.
We have a lot of masters to answer to.
From EA.
Well, no, that wasn't an EA game.
Oh no.
The Star Trek game was a Paramount-funded game.
Okay.
And we were partners with Paramount and Bad Robot, which is J.J.
Right.
production company.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's how that game got started.
Cool.
It was through them, and you know, we pitched a couple ideas, and one got picked, and we went into production from there.
Nice.
But you know, we had pretty much. We had guidelines that, you know, this is what the game needs to be. This is what they're, you know, the publisher is expecting from us.
Right.
So we did what we could within those confines. But it wasn't like we were coming up with a story and characters and whatnot.
Exactly. Did you? Well, we'll come back to that game. I want to talk some more about that later.
Sure.
But before we get too in depth with your games, I think it's important for me to know, and for viewers at home to know.
Okay.
Are you a gamer?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't be in this line of work probably.
Okay.
That's for sure.
See that I'm always curious about that because, I mean, you know, there are stockbrokers who they don't care about stocks. Or they, you know, or like.
I hope the stockbroker cared about stocks.
Well, they care about the money and they care about, you know, I get, well, but do they really care about what the company does? You know, like what.
Right.
You know, whose stocks they're trading, all that stuff. You know.
Right. Well, if you're talking about money versus art or something like that, I mean, that's, I guess, in every creative endeavor, you know, there's the people that are more interested in answering to shareholders, and there's the people that are more interested in pushing the boundaries of some sort of creative medium.
Right. And you wouldn't be the creative director if you cared more about the dollars being in...
Yeah, I mean, like, it's hard not to care about money. I mean, that's what allows you to make games, you know, for the most part. That's not 100% true, and actually people are proving that to not be the case every day, which is good. No, but I mean, I think it's awesome that people are going out there and making games on zero budgets and making great games on zero budgets and as sort of one-man armies or one-woman armies.
So, where were we? Talking about you being a gamer.
Yeah, me being a gamer, yeah. I try to play a lot of games. You know, the irony is, the more I work and the more busy we get, the less time I have. It was kind of like being a sex worker, I think. Like, if you came home after, you know, a long marathon porn shoot or something like that, or, you know, work in the corner, probably the last thing you want to do when you get home.
Exactly.
Is, get in bed. But sometimes sometimes it feels that way. But now things are better. When you're on a project and you have like a really grueling schedule.
Right.
Yeah, I try not to play too many games. I try to do yoga or something. I like to say that. I actually probably don't do yoga.
Right.
I just sit around and eat or read a book or something like that. Something that doesn't involve a screen.
Staring at a screen. Exactly.
Yeah, but now things are not as strenuous as they have been in the past, so yeah, I'm catching up on a lot of things. And I'm just playing like all these games that I missed last year. It's nice.
Isn't that funny? Like, it seems that most serious gamers have a to-play pile that's, about like this big.
Yeah, I mean, I have piles of everything. Well, that's kind of funny. There's like a pile of books I haven't read yet. There's a pile of movies that I need to watch.
Right.
There's a pile of games that I want to play.
Right.
It's just finding the time is tough.
Yeah.
I'd like to just sort of retire early and be able to just consume media all day. That would be very nice. But, yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? Well, so do you meet a lot of guys? Like, I mean, do you ever have that surprise encounter when you're at, meeting other devs and stuff where people say, like, you go, that's like in Mass Effect or something, and they go, oh, I never played it. Like, do you have that surprise experience every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When you're meeting with people, and you're meeting with people that you might work with, or people that might pay for something that you want to make. Typically, if it's something new, everybody has played it, or at least will, pass on that will purport to have played it. It'll be like, Guitar Hero, I love that.
Sure.
Or so it's something that you've heard of. Yeah, everybody knows that everybody's played it. But when you start talking about like older games or games that may have inspired some of the games, or games today that borrow mechanics from older games, you start mentioning these ones. I've gone to meetings at with bigger publishers where we'll reference something in their backlog, and they'll have no idea what it is, or never have heard of it, or have not played it. And it's like, well, how do you work for this company if you don't know what these games are, or what they mean, or what their importance was in the litany of games?
Right.
Yeah, it's you see that, but that's I don't know. It's common, I guess, but. But I don't know. I like from my point, like there's so much about games that I feel like don't know, and I feel like I know a good amount about games, but I feel like I'm learning every day.
Right.
But I'm the same with film, because I come from a film background. I think it's really important. I try to digest as much as possible to try and find out, theoretical things about games. What makes a game fun?
Exactly.
What are games all about? How did this mechanic evolve? Who invented this type of game or this genre? What are the roots? Stuff like that is really fascinating to me, and I love learning about older games or obscure games and things like that. It's really interesting. There's so many great games out there that people have never heard of.
Right.
So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe I can get in a position where I can just evangelize about smaller games and games that people maybe have not played.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's important.
A preacher, a games preacher,
game proselytizer,
a game missionary.
Something, yeah.
Taking tiny games to the masses.
I guess.
Spreading the good word. So speaking of things, starting small and going bigger, all of your projects at Naked Sky so far have been those of the downloadable sort.
Yes.
You guys have not done a retail release at this point, is that right?
No.
That's incredible.
We're working on one right now.
Okay, cool. Am I allowed to ask what that is right now, or is it?
I don't know. It's so weird what you can and can't talk about. I don't think I can really mention too much about it, but I will say it's a Kinect game.
Okay, cool.
It's a Kinect game for obviously for Xbox 360, and it's going to be a retail title.
Cool.
And it's awesome.
Great. Nice.
And it's really fun.
Oh boy. That's great.
And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass.
Okay.
It's a great game, and I'm really excited about it.
Cool. Well, I want to come back to that.
Okay.
That's fantastic. How did you guys, as a company, I'm not sure, the workings. I don't even know how you would go about starting a dev company, but how have you ended up, where was the decision made to say, okay, let's make this a downloadable game? Right. And then from that, what is the decision, you know, based on that first game and based on other factors that have made you guys continue to release downloadable games only from that point?
Well, it makes sense.
Right.
If you're independent or low budget or whatever.
Right.
I mean, pressing, with the case of ROBOBLITZ, it was, you know, Naked Sky was founded by 3 guys in 2002.
Including you?
No, not including me.
All right.
And one of the guys I went to grad school with at USC.
For film?
Yeah, we're in film school
Cool.
together. And we're working on 16mm movies, and we're auditioning one day, and he shows me this trailer for a game that he's been working on. He's like, yeah, my friends and I, you know, we started this game company, and I've been a big gamer my entire life. I've been really, really into it from a young age, and like movies, and it blew me away, and I was like, I have to be a part of this. And they needed a writer at the time, so I wrote this treatment for the game that they were working on, and it was a game about giant robots, mechs, that type of thing, and the game was, you could customize them and whatnot.
Right.
And I wrote this whole backstory for it, met with the guys, they liked it, and I just started working with them unofficially. Cool. That was around 2003.
You were still in school at this point?
I was still in school at this point. And, you know, at the time, Naked Sky was a company, but it didn't have any money.
Sure.
And it didn't have an office.
Right.
And for about 2 years, you know, we met at the lead artist's loft, at the brewery downtown LA.
Wow.
Great guy, Jake Carvey is his name.
Cool.
And yeah, and we worked out of there, and it was just about coming up with ideas. And, you know, then this big moment came for Naked Sky, and I'm trying to remember exactly when, but Intel called and said, hey, we have this new processor coming out, the dual-core processor. Do you guys want to make a game for it? You have a month. But it's something that we would show at our developer showcase.
Sure.
Anyhow, this game, sort of precursor to ROBOBLITZ, called RoboHordes, got made with this kind of original Naked Sky team. And the game came out, it was just arena combat stuff with a lot of physics.
Right.
And it wound up being bundled with the dual-core processor.
Cool.
And that kind of like opened the doors. Cool. After that, more opportunities started coming in.
Right.
Naked Sky was eventually funded. And then we kind of got the green light to do this downloadable game for the new service, Xbox Live Arcade for Xbox 360. Right. And it was just all the pieces kind of fell into place. And we hit the ground running. And next thing I know, it's 2005. We get an office downtown LA. There's 2 designers, myself and one of the founders of the company, Sam Tebow. And 2 programmers, the guy I went to school with, Josh Glazer, and another guy, John Stern, who lives in Tokyo now.
Wow.
And you know, the CEO of the company, Tien Mu, and a handful of artists. Including one incredibly talented art director, this guy Jay Riddle, who's an amazing guy. He was like the VFX supervisor on like Terminator 2 and The Goonies and The Explorers. I mean, oh man, Jay Riddle is according to Hoyle, badass. Wow, it was a real treat to work with him. And so anyway, our little motley crew, we just fell into it. We just started working, and a lot of us had never really put out a game before. You know, I had worked on just cheesy stuff on my own. I'd never put an official game out at the time. We made the game in UE3, Unreal Engine 3, and I knew next to nothing about it when I first started. Same with Sam, and we kind of hit the ground running. Tried to learn as fast as we can, and we had 9 months basically to make this game. Because they wanted to release it for Xbox Live Arcade at a certain... Well, we had a certain budget. I mean, after 11 months or so, and 2 of those months being certification testing and whatnot, I mean, it was going to be over. There would be no more money. Exactly. Yeah, so we had a pretty strict deadline. Okay. And that's pretty much how we got started, and you know, we learned so much. I mean, I always dream, like, if we could just go back and make that game again, make ROBOBLITZ again, ROBOBLITZ 2. But if we could just go back and make that game again, we would make it 10 times better. Yeah. There's so many things that we didn't realize we had to redo, and, but it was tremendous, and it's still my favorite game that I've worked on. Aww. Yeah. It was awesome. That's great, man. Yeah. That's super duper. I actually played it. And beat it. It's fun. You know, it's an imperfect game. It's definitely flawed. I can't look at it. I can't look at most anything I make, or because Maybe I'm overly critical, but it's hard for me.
Yeah.
Because all I can do is look at it and go like,
Oh,
oh,
that, right, that.
why don't I do this?
Right.
No.
But I mean, just starting out, and I think that this is what I tell my girlfriend all the time, that that the sign of a great artist is that they're never happy with their work. There's always room for improvement.
Maybe I hope that's true, but yeah, no, but it was fun. It was awesome, and we ROBOBLITZ also came out on PC,
Right.
and it got good reviews and kind of has this cult following to it. And
Great.
that was awesome, and I love the indie scene, and I hope I get to make more indie games.
Yeah. So the PC release came after the Xbox Live?
No, they were simultaneous.
Okay.
Yeah, the PC came out on Steam,
Right.
and the Xbox version on XBLA.
Cool.
But what's really interesting is, excuse me, not the sneeze. What's really interesting is, at the time when they both came out, they were priced at the same price point.
Okay.
They were $15, and it was kind of a little too early for its time, almost maybe for XBLA,
Right.
because most of the stuff on the platform was 400 or 800 Microsoft
Right.
points, $5 or $10. Okay, and our game was 1,200 points, and I think there's only one other game at the time that was 1,200 points, which was Bank Shot Billiards or something like that. And in a sea of 400 to 800 point games, the 1,200 point game is quite expensive. So you heard a lot of people going, not sure if I want to spend 1,200 points on that. Not sure it's worth it. This game is really pricey. Oh, it doesn't have multiplayer. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait till there's multiplayer.
Right.
And all that. And then on Steam, in the sea of games that are $40 to $60, the game that's $14.99 is a bargain. And it was funny to see the dichotomy between the two and see people on Steam going, oh, this is a great game. What a bargain. You get 19 levels and all this stuff for, $14.99.
Right.
Get it. You have to get it.
Cool.
But I thought that was really interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny how it all shakes out like that. You never quite know how that's all going to work out. And have you guys since then, and how often? I mean, I wonder about this stuff. In the conference rooms.
Yeah.
How many hours are spent talking about what a game retails for? It's like.
Oh, a lot. If you talk to the peanut gallery, we have opinions on pretty much every subject.
Right.
But I mean, even other games that we've put out before, we've questioned. It's natural, I think, for developers to question the publisher. And usually, most of the time, the publisher knows best.
Right.
But it doesn't stop us from complaining.
Right.
So we have strong opinions about what our game should be priced at, and the publisher has marketing people doing P&Ls and whatnot, and figuring out these other target, price points. But they're we talk about it all the time.
Logistics. It's all about logistics.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, if someone's going to give you money for anything, if someone's going to come to you and say, here's some money to fund your passion project or this game or anything, they're giving you money because they want more in return.
Right.
They see it as an investment.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to. It's like if you ever play music as a hobby even, and you've probably run into this, well, our songs are really good, just give us a show.
Right.
And nobody gives a shit how good your songs are. They just care how many heads do you bring to the venues.
Exactly.
That's all they care about. So therein is the big dilemma, and I think it's more powerful than ever. The indie scene is kind of breaking away from that and saying, well, games shouldn't necessarily be about just making a profit. Games should be about making good games.
Right.
And we're seeing more and more of that, and I think that's great. But yeah, if someone's giving you money, typically, you're going to be beholden to their price point, and because they want to make money, they figure, okay, we're spending X amount, we're guessing that N number of people are going to play the game. What should we price it at in order to make not just our money back, but make a little bit of a profit? So, and you're thinking, well, I just want as many people as possible to be able to play the game, and I don't want to burn people. I want them to spend their hard-earned gamer dollar, feel justified, and they got something good. Those two camps are rarely in line.
Oh, you should.
I don't know.